I'm average looking, below even in some, I don't care. I think I've shared this with you guys on several occasions, just where I, how I feel about myself. But I don't think that means I need to throw away my standards, because the idea is that my contribution is beauty as a woman. That's the teaching, right? And as far as I can't participate to a certain degree, I should not feel entitled and or deserving of certain things. Let's get into it. Let's watch this clip and then you guys will know what I'm talking about.
Most attractive women are giving advice to average women about entitlement. Now, in honesty, really beautiful young women can afford to be entitled. Life is easy for them. This is just an unfair fact of life.
But ultimately, that makes them unattractive.
You would think that, but there are still men willing to risk
I'm
it
sure
all.
there are guys who like that.
It still pays off. That entitlement is reserved for the 1% of women. It's reserved for the hyper beautiful. You really look after themselves. The problem is these women are the ones that we see online the most. Now they're saying this is what you get out of life. Don't settle for anything less. Make sure you don't do 50-50, blah, blah. That only applies to the 1% of women. Majority of women are average. Majority of women don't get that kind of treatment from men. Majority of women can't elicit that out of men. So when you are taking advice, I'm so sorry to break this to you, looks matter. They really, really matter. So yes, if you're incredibly beautiful and you're stunning, yes, you can be entitled. Unfortunately, men will reward that. But when you're an average looking woman, an average lifestyle, and you're an average person, you have to have average standards. So I think the entitlement has to be reserved for the 1% of women, and the average woman, the entitlement won't work for you. Teamwork will work for you. And most people are average. Most women, most men are average. So teamwork works better.
So I'm looking for a unicorn is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And stop looking for unicorn behavior if you're not a unicorn. And I know I get a lot of stick on this online because they're like, oh, you talk from about attractive women. There's just such a big difference in how men respond to them. It's night and day. So you have to remember when you're taking advice, you have to remember, just like you have to remember your budget price, like money wise, you have to remember your budget looks wise. If you're not incredibly beautiful, it's limited how much submission you can get out of men. If you're hyper beautiful, you'd be shocked at how much men will submit to you.
Now, hello. hello, hi. It is me, it is I, Smoltan Didi. You're a Khalindi over internet. I am back. I think I said it the other way around. But anyway, hello, Yella. I am back. I do love to talk relationship dynamics. I love to see where we are and how we get where we are. She's not wrong in terms of some of the advice. She's a beautiful woman herself, right? And she gives these takes all the time. And some of the women, the sprinkle movements especially, some of the advice I see given on that side of the internet is often by women who, the Kanyas of the world, right? Kanya, by the way, is fucking mid to me at best. At best. I don't particularly find her like such an attractive woman. She's very average to me. I am so sorry. Like she's mid, but I guess she's considered hot. Kanya from the Ultimatum. But we see that she's considered hot, especially in the poll that people were drawing from on the Ultimatum. And so she got away with that behavior because, well, Kateko would still want her. Isaac would still want her if she decided she still wants him, right? That's the experience that these kinds of women have had when they navigate the world and the dating space and things like that. So when they sit in front of the cameras and they tell average looking you that, oh, you don't have to take this. And not only do you not have to take this, you can be rude about it. The lady who was in the clip, she's not wrong about that. But what I feel has happened is that the average looking girl like myself has decided, oh, okay, you guys are saying this is the standard. And then as long as I don't meet the standard, I can't feel as a woman that who wants to partner with men in particular, I should not feel deserving. I should expect a lesser treatment. And what has happened is the girls like me are saying, oh, okay, since that's the case, okay, then I'll go at it on my own. Like I'll do battle just by myself. And then everybody gets mad now. Everybody gets mad because the being alone, all of that, it's male projection. It's not us. We don't have an issue being alone because for the most part, a lot of us have strong community. We have a lot going on. And it's like, if you're saying, in as far as I don't look like Kanya or I'm not as pretty like this lady in the clip, means that you don't have to put in effort. Like, your presence is the gift. I must be so happy to have you, because that's where this has gone, right? It's, you can't ask this of me. You don't look like so and so, which is a lie in itself, because the people they keep saying we don't look like, they get done in just as well. So it's a mind game that we don't have to play. And then the girls are like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take a vow of abstinence altogether. Then you find fucking Bumble trying to shame you into the cesspool that is they dating site that has literally, the filters aren't really working properly, and it's you're being lied to, right? Men are on there trying to lie to women and get you in compromising situations. The girls are like, you know what? I'm gonna abstain. Okay, I'm gonna stay away from all of this dealing with men, the sex, and then it's, oh, you can't do that. You're to this, to be that. There is literally an effort, a campaign, if you would like, to get the average looking woman to settle for the bare minimum and sell for the average man that he doesn't even have to try. As long as she does not look like Rihanna, he does not have to try. I'm not the one who's afraid of dying alone. I fucking came here all by myself. Why? I was sitting in my workspace with my friend whom I have to record a video with, and we were talking about this, and he keeps trying to convince me that no, that's not true. Like, everybody wants to be partnered. And I'm like, listen, you're projecting. These are male fears. And because you are taught that you're not afraid of anything, it's taught to you as my fear. I don't have that fear. I don't. Like, honestly, as a woman, as you get up there in age and you realize what a fulfilling life you have and the community you have, and how your friends in like partner situations with men are getting a raw deal, and you're like, your screws are on properly, and you're like, but what am I missing out on? What is this experience? And I'm not saying people aren't in happy unions. The people in happy unions are the average people. And I'm not saying the people in the 1% unhappy, but the average guy who understands that the average girl still requires effort, because he too would like to be appreciated in that situation. The people in the real world, because I fear we are sitting on the internet taking on the advice of people whose lives don't even vaguely resemble ours. And we do walk around with a little bit of delusion. I have seen average looking girls think they can get away with a behavior more than anything that I know is reserved for the pretty girl. So again, I'm not saying this woman is entirely wrong in what she's saying. I'm saying this teaching is somehow being conflated into the average guy thinking he doesn't have to put in work. And it's confusing to me in my brain. And when that happens, the average girl is like, I care if it's not going to be a partnership, if it's not going to be a team, if it makes the dream work, then I'm out. They are so confused when that happens. They are so fucking confused when that happens. No, you can't say things like that. And then we got back to the talking about marriage. I used to watch The Grapevine when it was on, like proper. And I can't remember if it was the episode on love or which episode. But Aisha, is a surname Faines, or I forgot how you say that. But she's like since passed on, I think from a car accident. One of my favorite YouTubers on here who does reviews refers to this a lot. And like, I used to listen to her all the time. And then when I realized that, oh, that was such a profound moment for both her and I, because that moment has stayed with me. Aisha was talking about the construct of marriage and how love for marriage, or I watch in Indian matchmaking on Netflix and stuff, and they like love marriage, or the unions that were put together through love and not through like the family sitting together and matchmaking and stuff, and they roll their eyes at it all the time because it is hilarious. But she talks about how this is Aisha now in that episode, that this was constructed to sort of keep the underachiever guy in check and sort of give him the experience of having his own little castle. And I'm just like saying it off of how I remember it. And in that, because every man goes home, right? And in his home, he's the king and everybody bows to him and he gets to feel that thing. That respect, that adoration, he gets to be on a pedestal for once in his life, because out in the real world, the real big boys tell him what to do and he feels small and all of that stuff. And then his little ego when he wants to throw his toys. So marriage, love marriage in particular, was constructed for the ill-resourced person who would otherwise not be able to have a wife, because you need means in order to court a woman, in order to convince the family of said woman that you'd be able to take care of her. We as women we will swarm like bees, right? Around that little bit of nectar. Like we will be all hands on like one man. That's why the polygamy shit gets to be a successful sell for the guy who can posture like he has his shit together. Because every woman wants to secure, well, most women who want to be married and make kids and all of that stuff, they're trying to get their kids a leg up. They are trying to make sure that the person they partnered with can contribute, especially financially, because we know a lot of you can't show up in any other way except for that. So we try to maximize how that can work. Now, that polygamy stuff in itself and what's gone on there is a different video. It's a hot mess. But the sell of an average life through the guise of love that most men aren't capable of anyway. I don't rate men. I don't know if you've picked up on that. That's for the protection of not the greater society as well, because incels are dangerous. If men weren't getting to participate in this illusion of like love and marriage and all of that, that 1% of men would be in danger. There would be like a revolt of sorts, if you would like, because what about me? They're dangerous. So to keep them in check, let's convince these girls that love is the way to go. The rich don't play those cheaper games. You really just think Nikki Hilton went and fell in love with a Rothschild? Like that just happened? No, I fucking didn't. None of it, it's not a thing, guys. This love stuff. I'm not saying you can't get like the giddies and feel and experience, and it's such a wonderful feeling, but it's like a poor man's sport. It really is. And for the girls, I feel like it's keeping us in poverty with people who don't even have much to contribute, making it a less than average life for the woman who endeavors into these spaces, with the average man who feels, I don't need to put in effort because she's average. Watch that very same man the one day that a Kanye type person. Did you see Isaac on the ultimatum? Did you see how Isaac was like moving with Kanye when she doing things with her that he didn't do for Ruth? Ruth was fucking gorgeous, but we understand what's going on there. We understand the colorism and stuff that's going on there, right? You meet his family at like the first week of you guys. First of all, you're on a television show. That's not even like your real girlfriend or anything. She's meeting families that Ruth never got to meet. You're sweeping up around the house, but then, the shoe drops. You realize, oh, I'm not even going to get what I want here. Now you want her to start doing stuff that you were okay with her not doing. You want her to not perform domesticity, but she knows she doesn't have to. So what does she do? She lets you know that, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not. After all of that, if she had decided she wants to get chummy with Isaac again, after she spoke to him the way she did when she was like, I didn't ask you to wash the dishes. And he wasn't wrong. I didn't feel Isaac was wrong when he was like to her, listen, when I leave the house, I make sure everything is clean and stuff. But when I come back, they've dishes that have piled up here from just you being in the. So he wasn't wrong in saying, do with the house like how I would do. But it did venture into him wanting her to perform what we've now termed like traditional gender norms in terms of like domestic labor. The conversation did eventually go that way. And she let him know that no, actually she doesn't have to. And some girls don't have to. Some girls don't have to cook, they don't have to clean, they just have to exist and breathe. And men are so enamored and they want to be around them. Again, the lady in the clip is not wrong in what she's saying. My thing as a girl who does not get that treatment is to say to the girl who looks like me, you don't need to settle for less. That's literally the entire video. You don't, if because here's what's happened in my experience. We ask for the basics and then we still don't get them. Some kindness, some respect. Men literally feel if you don't look like Rohana, that means it's enough. I don't need to do more than this. That is rubbish. That is complete. And you're wondering why so many of you are lonely and thinking of unaliving yourselves while telling us that we're the ones who are afraid of dying lonely. But apparently there's a little epidemic of you all being sad and depressed and wanting to take yourselves out. But it's us, right? We are like, which one is it? Which one is it? The men are lonely and it makes them dangerous yet. But like, I think it makes them more danger to themselves, which is fine. They can work through that at the conference. Whatever all else they want to talk about at the conference, they should work through. Like men's mental health to me is clearly a problem. But the Groot mans in charge don't ever seem to want to address it. See, that's how it becomes none of my business. Like, because why? If I were to say, now you guys are going through this and this is why it's happening, they wouldn't take it anyway. So why? I am telling you now, the way I don't bother with. Don't waste your energies as a woman trying to explain to a man how things harm him. I'm going to keep saying this to you. They're not going to hear it. You're wasting your time. Sizwe Dlomo has to tell them. Then they're like, oh, okay, Meg G has to tell them. Like, don't waste your breath on these people. Also, don't give them a fucking inch. Okay? Don't do that. Guys, I had a thing with a guy. It has to be well over 5 years ago at this point. I love flowers. And this guy wouldn't buy me flowers because he said to me, I'm a bloom. He's like, we have a water like crisis in my area and we've had it for like eons and eons now. So a lot of the gardens died and people paved their yards just to like have it neat and not have to, well, you can't water anything. My mom has since gotten into succulents. So they're all types of succulents in our yard, like a lot of them, like, wow. But this is before my mom got into succulents and it was just bare, looked very barren. And he'd be like, you don't even have plants here and you're telling me you like flowers. I'm me. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's fine. Even if you buy a vase and stuff, I'll never put flowers in it. And that really had something to do with if he's to date a girl that he feels I'm punching above my weight, he's buying those flowers. I was not the girl that he was. And then I realized I don't want a person who's not going to buy me flowers. I fucking love flowers. I want to prune them. I want to take care of them. I want to see which ones dry beautifully. I'm going to keep the dried ones and they decorate I fucking love flowers and I want somebody who's going to buy me flowers. And if I don't get that, I am not staying. You're not about to convince me I'm not something enough. Therefore, I don't buy. Bye. Because I guarantee you will be worse off than me because I'm fine all by myself. Do you understand? I'm going to have you in my life and then you're contributing what? Nothing because I'm not pretty enough for you to contribute something. Then why the fuck are you here? Oh, I know. You want to mine me for my labor. Right? Because you're still getting use out of me while doing nothing, telling me that simply because I'm not pretty enough. Right? But you want me to prepare you a meal. You want to use my brain for your little business ideas and be like, what do you think? I think nothing, bitch. I think absolutely fucking nothing. You're not getting my ideas. I get it, I'm not pretty and I'm not getting this and that because I'm not those girls. Hey guys, The stuff I've heard, the stuff people have said to us out here, that uthonjo libelela abe wena uthwanele mani. Yo. People have been telling us for a while that we shouldn't have certain expectations because we don't look like so and so. They've been saying that, and we're saying, okay, we understand. We understand we're gonna walk away all together. They're like, no, don't do that. Motho ka nyaka o namela. A nyaka o mo apeele, o mo tlhatswetse, o mo diene, a fetsa tao botse hore a ba so re o botse. Anyway, my guy, don't settle. Don't do that. You will lose. You are losing. He don't do it. Mwah. Bye, Yana.